That's a tough way to follow up that.
It's hard,
ain't it?
Yeah.
like you said.
But it is
What you just said was pretty astonishing.
yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem here in Madison and Huntsville. If he's going to be a Huntsville police officer, he'll be able to make an impact to try to stop that, because it is just it's a growing
There's a hotel you
epidemic.
said that's constantly
The world
rated
can need
in
more
Madison.
people like that. Hey, let's notice that watch you got on
Wow.
yesterday. We did a thing on a ticker watch.
What's that?
Wayne White had sent it to me on something he got from David Jeremiah, I think. It's
Really
a watch
ridiculous,
that
but
does your lifespan, and then it counts down how much time you have left. And it says, their slogan is "Make every second count."
which is a good slogan, but Zach's like, well, what if it says I got 30 seconds left? I'm like, your watch don't know, you know.
That is kind of a
That's a
kind
cute
of a
slogan. I mean,
yeah,
it's true.
yeah,
You
that's
should
a- that's
make
a
All
it
right,
second count.
you're trying to surprise me today.
I am.
DeeLauderdale.com in case y'all ever
Yeah,
lucky
okay,
enough to get that.
check it out. All right. I've been doing some research on all the mass killings that have been happening, because they're getting epidemic.
Oh yeah.
I tried to figure out, was there one consistent factor in all of these guys' lives?
No daddies.
That's exactly what it was.
Really?
It's not mental health. It's not anything. The vast
moms
majority
are
of
protecting
them.
them.
Yeah.
The mother is. Have
Yes.
you seen what the latest on the mother? The guy, she's.
Coming
oh
out
no, he wasn't a
defending
bad
them.
kid. He's a good person.
Yeah, but they interviewed that guy's dad, who
Yeah, the
lives
dad
in
said
Southern
that.
California, and he wanted to talk about gun control. But, when I started reading that, I did more and more research about it. And so I thought, you know what? They don't need more, these boys don't need more gun control laws, they need more daddies. And I think what has happened is the media and certain groups have tried to degrade the role of the father in a kid's life and say they don't really need it. Heather can have two mommies, whatever. They don't really need a dad. Well, yeah, they do, because the way it's set up, moms and dads each have an individual role to play. One's not better than the other. They're just different, and they do things. But where boys learn is from dads. That's
Hey,
where
if I
boys.
did something wrong, my mother would tell me growing up in New York, wait till your daddy gets home.
He was the disciplinarian.
He was the discipline of the.
Now, I
of the
could see
thing.
Sheila beating you, but
Well, yeah, clearly.
but not near as much as I could see Don beating you.
But it's not just the discipline part. It's where the boys learn empathy, where they learn how to
Character.
control their anger, where they learn how. I mean, this poor kid who did the Oregon shooting, it's come out that he said he didn't have a girlfriend. Well, that's one of the things a good dad is doing. He's teaching his son how to be someone that a girl would want to be around,
And how to treat her.
and how to treat them, and all of that kind of stuff, and just trying to raise the awareness and to help guys not fall into the trap of thinking I'm not necessary. Dad's thinking, well, I'm not really necessary in this thing. They've said they can do it without me, so a lot of them have checked out. Now, a lot of them have
A
checked
lot of them are
out.
forced out too. When you're going through a divorce and the wife, I mean, I'd rather you not even have a relationship
Yeah.
with your dad. I mean, that's sad.
Well-
Instead of being
Well, yeah,
thinking
that's a
about
good point,
your
too.
child.
It is, and so many of the laws with divorce and child custody do not favor the dad at all, and it's just a typical overreaction that the law makes, because there were a few bad ones, they decided that all the
All of
ones
them
are
are.
bad. Well, most of the dads that I know that are divorced are great dads,
Want to be engaged in
and
their
want to be
children's
more
lives.
engaged with their kids constantly.
But like Gloria just pointed out, because she's had to live through
can't
this
do it.
before, the mothers, that's their one thing that
That's
they
their
can
pawn. That's
control
their
with a
only-
dad.
Yeah.
And all of y'all people that's been divorced, got loved ones, family members, whatever, and that woman will use
That was in our Sunday school class. It's so
that
funny.
kid as a pawn against you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the more money they got, the worse the situation can be.
That's why conflict resolution immediately when you get divorced, I think,
Yeah.
should be mandatory. Because if they can't work it out
Yeah.
to co-parent, then that child doesn't have a chance.
And it all goes back
And it is.
to your book, Pivot, that you talked about young men, because
Yeah.
they don't know any better.
Right, and men learn more by observation than they do sitting in a classroom. I mean, that's one of the things
Good point.
that's so rough about little boys in elementary school now is they took away recess. Well, little boys have more testosterone. They can't sit still, and they want
I
little
saw
boys
that
to
thing
learn.
today.
ADD, if it can't sit still.
Right, and there's not ADD,
Let's
they
do
just
something.
need to be able to go run for 30
A couple
minutes.
school
Yeah, I agree.
systems have done away with the game tag because it's too dangerous.
They obviously were never on the playground at East Limestone Elementary School with me back in the day when there were rocks and everything else out on what was the playground. It wasn't, smooth grass or whatever, and we played tackle football.
Oh, yeah.
It was great. But boys do, men learn by watching.
I was thinking that, but I'm not going to go there.
They learn by watching, and so the way God designed it was for boys to learn by watching the older men in their life, their dads. I mean, think about it. 100 years ago or 150 years ago, we were an agrarian society, so the whole family lived together on the farm. It was dad, and so the little boy was around his dad, his grandfathers, his uncles, his cousins, and that's where all of that was learned. And you didn't see those kinds of things going on.
I don't think that was 100 years ago. I think that was I'm 62. That's kind of the way I was brought up.
Well, but not...
Saw my grandfather every day.
Not as widespread, as it was. But I did part of my research, I discovered there were more mass killings in the 60s than there were the previous recorded history in America.
Really?
And they've almost
heard about
doubled. They just didn't happen. This is very much a phenomenon that's been going on from the 60s and forward.
Innocent kids.
They're cowards.
Movies, schools. Is it easy?
They think they're going to be
Because it's an easy target. Nobody's going to shoot back.
Yeah.
It's just like the same bullies that you grew up with. I mean, it's real easy to be a bully when you know the other person's not going to punch you in the nose. But
who always got it at our school?
Who?
The new kid.
The new kid?
Yeah.
But I'm sure you never did it to the new kid.
No,
he did. He talked the other day out. I felt bad. If you were the new kid, boy, you got.
Oh yeah, but I didn't try to help them or nothing because it was my friends beating them up.
Now you feel bad.
But it really is. I mean, I'm just trying to raise the awareness of dads. Stay involved. You are very critical to
They
this
didn't call it
kid's
bullying
life.
back then.
No, it had to be
What did
something
they call
physical
it?
back then to be bullying. Right? I mean, it was not bullying until it was physical.
This is what you're
Stealing
talking about.
money.
One thing, and you go back and you feel bad now. We used to have this one girl that graduated with us.
Confessions, huh?
I've never seen her since then. But she just always, we called her Caution. So every time we'd see her coming down the hall, everybody'd say caution and run up against the lockers and turn her back to her.
She's probably traumatized to
She
this
probably
day.
is. She's been in therapy the whole time. She's going to
Exactly.
find you now and send you a bill
Go
for all
ahead
the
and
therapy.
apologize right now.
Yeah.
I'm
Apologize,
sorry.
Jamie.
Hey, Caution.
I'm
sorry. But I mean, it was everybody in
That was
school
a
did it.
sad apology, but how?
But I always felt bad about that.
Well, good. You have a conscience.
Well, you should have.
You should have. Yeah.
You've got a conscience
You know
now. That's very good, huh?
You know her?
No.
I guess you never did anything like that.
Oh, I was an angel. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
I was
right.
just the
Your
perfect
daddy's over there shaking his head.
child.
No way.
And notice I'm not looking over there at him.
But I wonder how many people regret doing
We've all
stuff
done
like that
stupid
now,
things.
Well, I think you regret doing that kind
It
of
makes
stuff.
those people feel bad,
But on the other part of the other side of the coin, there was some level of toughening up that happened in life when you went through that. You learned to ignore just words that people said to you. So there was, I don't want to say some benefits to it.
I couldn't wait
But
to
you
weigh
did
100
toughen up.
pounds out of high school.
But
I mean,
you
people
did
are
toughen up a
cruel.
little bit when you had to do that, and you got out in the world and discovered that not everybody's nice.
And what
I
was even
survived in
nicer-
high school because of my personality.
And it still
No
works
way.
today.
It still works today. That'd be a right answer,
way.
dude. We got to get out of here on this Wednesday. We'll see y'all bright and early tomorrow.
See ya.